Welcome to Untitled Institute's Introduction to Project Risk Analysis, Risky Project Basics. In this video, we'll just do a quick overview of the Risky Project software, show how we can add data, schedule and cost data to the software. We'll then show you how we can quickly add risk and uncertainty to our project schedule and run the simulations, and we'll do a quick overview of the results that we get out of the Monte Carlo simulations. So we take a look at this. We've just created a very basic schedule, but this schedule has 5 activities, each with 5 days. It has a resource. Now that resource has a cost, which will allow us to model time-dependent costs. It also has some cost and income for each activity. The next stage of the workflow is in the risks, and there's an integrated risk register. We can assign risks to the schedule or costs or other risk categories that we're monitoring or managing. And the risk register has obviously properties. It comes with a risk matrix that can be customized, including mitigation and response plans, and a built-in risk report where we can generate customized risk reports for every risk in the system. We'll then move on to the analysis, which includes a result unit, which is a visualization of the simulation results as a Gantt chart, the project summary, which shows us the overall results of the simulations, including the project with and without risks, cost analysis, cash flow, risk chart, success rate, crucial tasks, which is basically the critical path in a probabilistic setting where we monitor how often activities land on the crucial task. We won't look at all of those results today, but they are there. The system software also has the ability to work with tracking, so if we have actuals, we can enter the actuals into the system, so we can start to monitor the project with actuals and taking into account the risks and uncertainties we've added to it. And there's a tracking chart as part of that. And finally, there's the reports, and the reports has a series of different reports. Some of them are hard-coded, some of them are ad hoc, where you can change the results that you're looking at, the data that you're looking at, the view, and then you can quickly go to the print and output that as a report. There's a statistics report, which will take the 3 major charts that we use in Monte Carlo simulations with a histogram, a cumulative probability, and it's a sensitivity analysis, and it will output those to a single report on any of the activities in the schedule. Let's quickly take a look at how we can do this. So we're in the project view. Now, one of the first things I want to do is I want to add some risk to the system. I'm going to go to the risk register. I'm going to add risk 1. I'll call it schedule. So this will be a schedule risk. Now, I'm going to quickly add it to 3 of the activities and drag and drop it over there. It's going to assign it, and we can see that this risk is going to be assigned to these 3 activities. We give it a chance that it will occur. We'll give an outcome type. It's a relative delay, and we'll say 20%. Now, when we go back to the schedule and we'll take a look, we can see that these activities are already been added. These risks can be added. It gives us a visualization, a queue that we've added those risks, assigned those risks to those activities. However, we also have some costs, and I want to add some cost risks. So I'm going to say add risk 2, we'll call it cost, and I'm going to add it to all of the activities. And we're going to say there's a little bit less of a chance that it will occur, and we'll give it a fixed cost increase. In this case, we'll say that there's a chance that each one of those will have, and we're going to make this triangular just to add a little bit more complexity. And so now this risk is being added to all of those activities. If we go back to the schedule, actually where this risk is actually being added, it's being added to all of these costs. So each one of these costs can now be escalated due to those risks. Now, one of the other things we want to account for is the quality of the schedule, or variance, that is going to be driven not by the risk, but being driven by the activity, by unknown unknowns, or just the schedule quality, and that it's not as accurate as we'd like. So we can quickly add that. I'm going to multiply all of mine on a coefficient. The base is 0.8, the high duration 1.5. We'll quickly give it a triangular distribution. And we're going to do the same to the cost and income, because I think, again, we have a set across, but that might vary also. There might be some variance there. And in that, we can go, we'll multiply that on a coefficient as well. But we're going to have a little less variance on that. And we'll give that triangle as 0.95 and 1.1 for the high. And we can see that we've added that. At which point, we can quickly run the simulation. If we go to the risk register, one of the things that the risk register will do is will automatically rank the risks based on their impact. And because we don't have a hierarchy, we're not looking at it any particular risk, it's ranking as the overall impact. If we go to duration, the schedule risk obviously is going to have much more impact. The risk 2, which is a cost, has no schedule impact at all, so it's ranked very low. Now on the cost side, you can see a bit different. Now, one of the things, because the schedule risk is driving time-dependent resource costs, it is actually ranked higher than the cost risk that we have. So that's an interesting finding. It allows us to get a very good understanding of how our risks are impacting our schedule in terms of how we should be ranking them and what sort of priority we should be giving them when we manage them. Now, if we go to the analysis, this is the result Gantt, and what we're seeing, we can see all the risks that have been assigned to the schedule, into the cost risk. Now, the current or the original schedule is the white bar. The results, and in this case it's the P50, is the blue bar. And it's, you can see, because of risk and uncertainties, we're starting to move to the side, to the right. And the schedule is going to be longer and it's going to cost more. Now, if we go to the project summary, this gives us an overall view, and we can see without risks, the project would be 25 days and $35,000. And with risk, at least at the base, it's going to take 30 days and cost $38,000, so about almost $4,000 more. If we want to take a quick look, we have the 3 major histograms that we look at, which are cost, finish time, and duration. We want to take a look at that. And this is the integrated frequency and cumulative probability chart. We can take a look at, well, what would be the chance that we would have made that original $35,000. Almost nothing, 1% chance. Our P80 is around $40,000. So our contingency at this point is about $5,000. Now, any of these charts can be pulled out and copied, or we can report them using the statistics report that I mentioned earlier. The last thing we'll take a look at is the sensitivity analysis. And the sensitivity analysis tells us which activities or risks are the main drivers in the schedule. So we can see that activity numbers 1, 2, and 3, because they have that schedule risk associated with them, we're looking at duration, are the main drivers of duration. For cost, we see the same thing. So we can know what we're looking at in the a similar sort of thing that we're looking at in the risk register is ranking the sensitivity of each one of these activities to the overall, or the overall project cost sensitivity to each one of these activities. And we can look at finish time, we're getting the same thing. So it's really telling us that our highest priorities should be at the activities 3, 2, and 1, which have relatively the same impact on the schedule. That's it for the quick overview of RiskyProject basics. In the following videos, we will be going into much more detail regarding the analysis of our Monte Carlo simulations, reporting, and risk management.